Holy smokers, are you flipping my flapjacks? There's a new finance app out in the market on iOS and Android. Welcome to the Hungry Bull. Now in this video, I'm going to share with you the who, what, when, where, how, and why about this app, and then I'm going to do an in-depth app review, overviewing the ease of use, accessibility, design, value, content, and then an overall app store rating. And I'm going to be sharing all of this from my own experience as the founder and CEO of an app that was named by Apple as the App of the Year. You can check it out, link down below in the description. And also here on my channel, I talk about investing in startups, building startups, and entrepreneurship. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you watch this video until the very end to get my full perspective on this application. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and destroy the like button of this video. Of course, if you've downloaded the app, make sure you let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of this, and I'll also let you guys know my opinion here in this video as well. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it, and I want to go to the App Store because this app is available on iOS and Android. You go to the App Store, you navigate, you can see the Hungry Bull, news without the BS, track all of your stocks in crypto, listen to every earnings call, a daily newsletter, engage with the community. Now, I'm going to be talking about this from the perspective of me personally. I use a lot of different finance apps. I use Robinhood to check on things, Webull, Morning Brew I'm subscribed to. I have a lot of my funds in Chase. I have an M1 Finance account and a number of other applications as well that I tinker with online as well as in mobile apps as well. So I'm going to go ahead and open the app because I've already downloaded it and I've already created an account. I'm going to walk through the 4 menu items that you see on the bottom. So it says, hello, Ferris. There I am. I have my profile on the screen and I gave myself a little bio, CEO of MySwimPro, YouTuber, author. Check out my book on Amazon. And I linked all of my social platforms so you can go ahead and tap on those for reference. And then there's a few account settings. And that's pretty much it on the main profile screen. I hope that they add a little bit more personalization features in this application. So shout out to Jeremy and Graham for putting this together. I think it's awesome for a start. Now, the second menu item here from the right side, we're kind of going in reverse order, is the newsletter. Now, this newsletter is basically your financial news. You know, if we tap on one of these articles, here's Microsoft wants to let you create your own cryptocurrency. That sounds really interesting. We can scroll down, read the article, and we can also check out the comments. There's Jeremy. Holy smokes. Oh my God. So we're going to go ahead and give that a thumbs up. And I can reply to Jeremy right there. And he has 0 replies. I'm going to say, you know it. That's awesome. Send. And there's my reply. So it's pretty cool to interact with some of these guys here on the platform. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. So you have a newsletter, and this is updated. It looks like several articles, or 1 article per day. I think in terms of newsletter, you got to have more than just 1 article, but it is what it is. Then we have the watch list. Now, this is probably the most interesting part of the app, is to be able to see. I went ahead and added a few different companies that I'm an owner in. You know, I added Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla. You can also add the different indices that are being tracked. Here you have the Dow Jones Industrial, and you can also track cryptocurrencies. So I went ahead and added Cardano, Bitcoin, Polkadot, Ethereum. And what's really interesting is when you tap into one of these companies, you can see the overall chart. Now you can see this just by going to a Google search, but you can also go in and you can adjust the time horizon of the graph, and you can see the key stats. And this is really interesting. When you click on financials, this is something that you'd see out of like Yahoo Finance. This is normally when I'm making an investment decision and I'm doing it more on a value play, and I want to see what the metrics look like underlying of the company. These are what most of the indicators I'm looking at on Yahoo Finance, and it's great to see them all here. There are a few things actually missing that I normally dig into, like the balance sheet and things like that you have access to if you go online, but this app is a little bit more surface level, doesn't show you that, has news about the company. And what's really cool is you can listen to earnings calls through the app. A lot of other apps don't really have it set up as simply as this. Some other apps can do something like this, but if you follow financial education Jeremy, you know that this is what he really cares about. He wants to listen to the earning calls. He wants to go to Yahoo Finance and look at what some of the KPIs are. And so you can modify this as well, and then you can expand the news for your watch list, which is actually pretty darn cool. You can also search for additional companies. We're going to go ahead and search for a company. Let's call it Google McDougal, as he calls it. Nope, I can't. It's called Alphabet. My bad. Goog. There it is. All right, there's Google. We can tap on it, and we can add it to our watch list. Google trending down on the daily. but you can go ahead and modify this. I would like to see a little bit more granularity, but we'll get into that when we go into the review. Now, the final tab here is the home. This is all the way on the left, and it has your indices here at the top. It looks like it was a red day, a lot of blood in the streets. Gold is up though by 0.11%, and you have these top news articles are just circulating, moving back and forth. So let's tap on this one. Here is the article, and then you have the comments. Jeremy's all over this. I'll give him a like on that one. And so that pretty much sums up the four menu items of the app. You know, there's not a lot of customizability that you can do here, but that pretty much gives you an overview. Obviously, this app is intended for people who are looking to be more active with their finances, and they want to make sure they are on top of things and really do it all in one place. So I know right now I'm subscribed to Morning Brew and a lot of other newsletters and things like that. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, as I'm sure you guys are watching as well. But in general, you know, I think the goal here is to try and put everything in one spot. Now let's go ahead and do an evaluation of this app in a few different categories, and I'll give you guys an actual rating, a score on how I evaluate these. So the first area is on ease of use. And when it comes to ease of use, you know, I think it's very simple for a beginner to navigate through this. There's only 4 menu items. There isn't a lot to it, and the language is not overly intimidating. There's not a lot of, you know, sticks and trying to do technical analysis and a lot of things thrown in like other apps like Webull, for example. It can be very overwhelming. So for ease of use, I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5 rating. So pretty good, rooms for improvement, but 4.5 out of 5. Now for accessibility, I think obviously the fact that this application is 100% free to download, available for iPhone and Android, that right there puts it at a pretty high accessibility rating just because of the fact that it is free. Now there isn't a web application version of this. There is a newsletter, so that definitely dings it down just a little bit. And also I do believe from an accessibility standpoint, just thinking from an app developer, you do want to have the ability to modify in the settings some of the different, you know, size of things that, you know, you can change, you know, between dark mode and light mode. You can change the speed of earnings calls. That's pretty cool. But what about the size of the actual fonts here? The text size it's going to be too small for a lot of people, especially, you know, some of the older folks. And to be able to, like, some people might not be able to read Amazon. You know, you might be able to see it on the screen, but, you know, the text size is probably too small for a lot of people. And being able to adjust that independently within the settings is something that would take this from a 4.5 out of 5 to a full 5. So for accessibility, I'm going to give this app a 4.5 out of 5. Now let's move on to the third category, and that would be design. So for design, it's a simple 4 menu option at the bottom. You have the home, you have the charts, the news, and your profile. So pretty basic design. A lot of apps these days are normally actually a 5 menu layout or even 6, but 4 is just fine. It's not overly complicated. It's a relatively simple UI, but the design elements are all actually kind of all over the place. So there isn't really a unified design style. So we're going to ding them some points on that because of the different design elements. And also, you'd wish to have the ability to, you know, drag these things around, to have more granularity, because I imagine if you have 20 or 30 companies loaded in here, to be able to, you know, maneuver through them in a much more efficient manner, that would be ideal. So for design, we're going to give this app a 4 out of 5. So pretty good, but not quite there yet. Now, the next category is value. So for value, I think there's a lot of value here. Even though it is pretty simplistic, the fact that you can access conference calls directly on the company, to be able to scroll through them on such an easy way, to see the financials, something you'd see out of Yahoo Finance. It's a little bit more dumbed down, but it's not too bad. And then to have the chart overview and be able to navigate through it as easy as you can, and you can just scroll right through it on that. That's pretty darn good. So for value, it's pretty solid, but it's missing a little bit more granularity that I'd like to see, particularly on the financials and even in the depth of the articles. And so for that, for overall value, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 rating. Now, the final category is on content. So when we think about content, we're immediately going to go to the newsletter. Now, if you're a really hardcore finance nerd and you think about things like the Bloomberg terminal or just going to Twitter or CNBC, you're going to have way more news. So here, you know, you have some articles and different, you know, things that you can look at. But at the end of the day, there is a lot more news that you'd like to be able to go through and filter. And so the fact that we are missing some of that news, and for me at least, more importantly, missing some personalization, because when I look at all of this data, and all of these different companies on the watch list, I would actually like an even more personalized approach, like through the onboarding. Let me, ask me some more questions to understand what I'm really looking for. What are my goals? Why would I be using the app in the first place? And then personalize the experience for that. And so because a lot of this is missing, I know it's very early in the app, I'm actually going to give on content a 3.5 out of 5, just because I think that's where a lot of the value will be, because the whole goal of the app is to not have 5 or 10 different apps or websites or newsletters that you're going to. It's all in one place. So to make sure you accomplish that value proposition, it's really important that everything is actually there. So we're not there yet, but I know the app development process is a long grind. You got to continue iterating. And so content 3.5 out of 5. And from an overall perspective for this application, when you average all of it out, I'm going to give it a 4.2 out of 5. So it's actually pretty good in the App Store. If you do go to the App Store, you're going to see that it's rated 4.8. A lot of fans here, almost 300 ratings on iOS at the time of this video. But what can we say? It is a solid start to an app. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Again, shout out to Graham and Financial Education, Jeremy Lefebvre, for putting this together, because I think the community needs more innovation. Like I said, I've used Public, Robinhood, Webull, M1 Finance, Chase. I use Yahoo Finance Online. And I also vlog about entrepreneurship and investing in startups. So I see this from a different perspective when it comes to investing in startups as well. If you guys are interested in learning how to do that, make sure you check out my most popular video on how to invest in startups step by step. I also share in a different video the 5 reasons why you should not invest in startups. So make sure you check out that video along with the 5 reasons why you should be investing in startups. If you guys enjoy that content, make sure you're subscribed, and also make sure you smash the like button. That's all I ask for. Invest in the like button. It's absolutely free, and hopefully the return on investment of making it all the way through in this video was well worth your time. So thanks again for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.